Hi, welcome to Dee's Paper Studio, Demos Tutorials. It's January 1st, 2012. Hooray, we made it. Today, I wanted to just show you some of my new fun that I'm having. And I'll show you the one that I made. It is one of Tim Holtz's pocket watches. And I wanted to make some jewelry for my one little word, or something just to remind me of my one word for 2012, which is ahead. And you can see that I have that in there. It's right across here. And I have some other pieces, my Maya Road little bingo piece, some more Idea-ogoly in there. Down here's a cut from an old dictionary with some definitions. So, and then I added this piece. This piece doesn't come to it. I actually cut a chain and put this to it with some super glue and let it sit overnight, and added an Idea-ogoly key. So, and then I added some baubles up here. And so I made a necklace that I can wear or just hang up in my scrap room, either one. So I just want to let you play with me, because I have things around me, but I don't necessarily have it designed out. So I thought, hey, why not just share it with you guys? You have been great to support me for the 2011 and 2010 and 2009 and 2008. So I thought I'd share with you, just let's work along together and I'll show you some fun things. So here is Tim's pocket watch. You know, it comes packaged, and it is glass front. It is metal. It's like you went to the store and bought the real thing and took all the pieces out of it. So the first thing you want to do is take something thin, and there's a little tab. You just have to go around and find it. Hopefully I found mine ahead of time. Yep, there it is. And you just pop it open just like that. Ta-da! Alright, set aside your glass. So I'm going to set this up here. And let's work with the inside of the base. Now, you can do several things. You can leave it like that and start altering it. I took and cut out a disc. Just use the color paper that you want. And how I cut it to make it work well is that I happen to have, from the flea market, a friend of mine does a lot of junking, she calls it. Well, I happen to come across this one. And let me see, it is a porcelain. I'm trying to find the best way to get you some light. Oh, there it is. A porcelain face pocket watch piece. And guess what? It fits on the front. Now, I wouldn't be able to do much more in the way of altering. Now, I can. It's got, it has little things on it, and I'm going to probably cut that off. I won't use it now, but it fits right down in there. So because it fit right down there, I was able to use this to trace it out. But if not, the punches don't work for this because it's an odd shape. But you can just use the outside rim and then put it down in there, and you should be fine. You work with it a little bit. It's not a big deal. Another thing is Technique Tuesday puts these out. They're canvases, discs. This is a big one. So what I would do is, they're adhesive. I would adhere it on in there, push it down around the edges, and just trim off what you don't need. And then you can use, like Claudine Helmuth's different mediums, and you can design. So it's just some suggestions you can use. For now, I'm going to use this. So let me put my wonderful glassy accents. Put the lid, just set it on top. I hope you can see, and I'll just drop that inside. Just anytime you have adhesive, like a liquid adhesive, if you put a little pressure on it, it has a tendency to work faster and a little bit better. Okay? So you can see, just a disc. So I want to start putting some things together. So I've pulled out some metal bits and pieces. I have Tim's nibs here. I haven't purchased those till recently. Didn't see a reason to be honest with you, because I don't put them on my scrapbook pages. But now that I'm doing a few things like this, hey, I think I need them. And they're different. They're not all the same. So I'm going to put this in. Now, instead of my glossy accents, because I need something that'll dry quick, I have Beacon's zip dry paper glue. But you have just one of these things you snip off the top, and so I only snip it off very little. So I'm just going to put this, I hope you can see. It sticks to my finger. It dries very quickly. When it says zip dry, it zip dries. If I can just get it in there, you can use your tweezers. Alright. So I have that quick. Okay, so I have my little nib in there. And make sure, one thing that Tim did warn, and I say, yeah, is because this is glass, you don't want to fill this up so far and think you're going to push down on it. This will stay okay, this will shatter. And if you're using the bingo piece, like from Maya Road, it's too thick. I used it and prayed hard, and you could hear it, hit it. And I just got very fortunate. Use, Tim Holtz has some bingo type things, but just measure. There's several other bingo pieces out, or use some Scrabble pieces. Just make sure it's not touching the glass when you put it on, and you just test that before you start gluing everything down. Something else that I wanted to do is I took, again, this is Valentine's Day, and I'm doing Letter of Love. So my nib's very important to me. Is I just took some of the tissue tape and some music, because of course, again, a reminder of music and l'amour all works together. We've got a theme going on. And all I did is just, gather it together. I did it with my finger, just going around, and it just goes around. It's so easy. It's so easy to work with. And I'm probably not going to use all of it. I tell you what, I have a hard time starting out, so what I do is do a straight here, and then start curving around. So I don't need that straight piece, but I will save it. I save everything at least once. I find out, you work with this little stuff, and that's perfect. So I'm just going to put, let's see, we're probably going to have to cut it down. Well, maybe not. I want to put this in here, and it's going to get flattened. So I'm putting it in there just to give it some background texture. And if there's mistakes here, they get covered up eventually. They really do. And yeah, I'm going to cover up most of this. Not most of it, I'm going to a bunch of it. But I just wanted the musical notes all in there. So another piece of ideology that I want is these wings actually come together, but I only needed half them, so I cut them in half, and I'll use the other half for something else. So since I'm just going to put a little bit of the zip dry, and so I'm just putting things in there. I'm going to make my love takes flight. I wish you could see my face right now, because I'm laughing at myself at all these metaphors and different things that I'm putting together. And you can add, like, to your, use your Perfect Pearls or your Tattered Angels or your Smooch from Clear Scrap, excuse me. Clear Scrap has the Smooch. And then you can just spritz it or ink it, however you want to do it. So far this is what we've built. Okay. And we need a letter. And there's different things you can use for your lettering. Let's see. We have Tim Holtz's lettering. You can cut out your own lettering, use some grunge board lettering, use your Cricut, whatever you want to do. If you use flat paper and you want to raise it, certainly do. You have a little bit of space in there that you can build up some stuff, which is always a lot of fun. So I'm going to put my letter in. Now, you think I would put L in, but I'm not. I'm going to put my husband's first name, his letter for his name, and it's J for Jimmy. So I'm going to add a little bit. It's already self-adhesive, but because I'm putting it on an accordion piece, I'm just going to stick a little bit of glue adhesive on it. Just tap it on there. That'll be fine. So there's my letter. Because that gives me room. Putting the J there breaks up the red and gives me more room over here. So I actually have room for more letters if I want to. So you can see, love letters, flight wings, the whole 9 yards. You get it. Let's see what else I have away because I have the wrong Wendy Vecchi set of stamps. So this one is the lowercase art, and there's a bunch of lettering here on the side. Let's see if I show you a little bit closer up. Ta-da! Okay, so we're going to use the lettering, but we're also going to use a dictionary. I have the Webster's dictionary, and you have to see the pages on this thing. Now, isn't that good and yellowed and aged? Now, if you don't want it to continue aging, there is different ways you can take some of the acid out of it, and that's for another time. And I'm looking for letter because I've used the word love already. And I'm just going to cut this out real quick. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is altered art, or altered pieces, or just a whole lot of fun. It's going to be long. I'm going to end up editing a bunch of it, and you'll probably not hear me talk here, but that's okay. So, you've got this. I've just pulled this away. I'm not going to use the whole definition, and I'll share that with you in a minute. But I've got space down here at the bottom. And what I'm going to do is take my archival ink. This is crimson, which I need to find some more of. And I want to put the word love, of course, or l'amour, or amour. Not l'amour, amour. Right now the French are going, good grief. No, I'm not French. I'm United States, South Carolina Southern. And I'm just going to ink that up real good. And across the bottom here it's just barely big enough. I may have to restamp some other things. But we'll just take and give it a good do. So now I have just like some old vintage type lettering, and I just take my scissors. If it's going to be amour, let's take the A. I'm just going to snip them off like that. A. What I did is I just finished trimming up my letters, and I just barely touched it with some vintage photo ink, just the edges along with my definition. I did the same thing. It says letters, and then although there's several definitions, obviously, a communication in writing is what I have. So I'm going to use some black pop dots. I have a Prima, some nice pretty bling bling, and I'm going to take the heart off. That sounds ominous, doesn't it? It's got some reds and pinks. You know, to share love. I know that it's girly, but that's okay. It's mine anyways. Okay, so I have it. Again, my trusty X-Acto knife. And I'm just going to place that inside. And I'll probably put a lot of stuff over it. I mean, if you don't like something, you can always take it off. And I'm not advocating you use Prima, this, you know, whatever you would like to use. This has got adhesive on it, so you don't have to worry about that. See, ta-da! I've got my little bling in there. You can see the big heart, but there's little gems all around it. So that's really cool. Now, normally I would put some of this stuff through the Xyron machine, but there's other ways to do it. My sticker maker. All right, so I've got some black pop dots. I'm going to leave them on here because what I'm going to do is I want the tiniest slivers. But enough to be viable in the sense of being able to hold up this stuff. So I've got my craft mat, so I'm going to just stick that right down there. And this is for my word, amour. I don't know why I say it like that. I put the two very closely together, and then just peel off the coating so that you can have the sticky edge. You go, where am I going to put this? Oh, I'll find somewhere to put it. Okay. All right. A. And if it doesn't work, then I won't do it. Let me see what I've got here. And the reason I'm popping it up is because I have room to pop it up. Let's see if I can show you. So, you see the back. Ta-da! And then the front. It's all together there. And you can, you know, sparkle it, do it however you want to do. That's fine. I think I will go across the bottom. So you might want to just, because you have that split down the middle, you can curve it. You can do all sorts of stuff. So this is what we have so far. And then pretty cool. Ta-da! I know that you're looking at it sort of backwards here. Now, if you want to put in your definition. Now that is tiny. I don't even know if I can get it to show. Alrighty, I'm back. I faded away to work with the teeny tiny stuff. Basically all I did was glue it in and try to get it fixed, and I say fixed in the sense that getting it in there, and 2, figuring out how much of the definition I wanted to keep, which wasn't very much. You can see I have it. Hopefully it will, if I be still, it will adjust. Alright. See the definition across the top, my letter J with the nib there and some heart. My amour. And an empty spot right there at the bottom because I want to see those musical notes, so it's not really empty. Alright, so now we've got this, and now is the part that we pray hard. Make sure you lay this in the direction because you want to put your top piece, your winding up piece, which doesn't wind, but there's no need to. I'm being silly. So, I very carefully line it up. If it doesn't line up, you can certainly pop the back off again. It's nothing permanent. Matter of fact, you can take all this out if you want to and put something new in. Now you can see the finished product, and you can go to my blog, the link's there, and see the finished product. A little bit closer up. There we go, a little bit better. Amour. So I'm taking the time to write a letter to the one that I love, amour, that makes my heart beat and music in my life, and that our love takes flight. I had fun. Okay, there'll be a lot of cutting in and out, but I had fun. God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.